Hey, it's Brett McGarry from Mackling, McGarry, and McNabb on the start on 680 CJOB. It's I Love to Read Month, and we would love to be there with you right now, reading to you, but we can't this year. So we're going to do something different. Greg, what are we learning about today?
Tamika Reid, she's written a book called Sweet Without Sugar. And if I've got it right, Sugar is a cat. Sugar is Sofia's cat. Sofia deals with autism, and Sugar helps Sofia deal with her issues. It's a wonderful book. And Loren, why don't you tell us a little bit more about our friend Tamika?
Tamika Reid just graduated with a master's in cultural studies at the University of Winnipeg. Congratulations, by the way. And her work there and the work in this book, it's really all about showing us people and characters that too often go underrepresented in books and media. Here's Sweet Without Sugar.
Sweet Without Sugar, written by Tamika Reid. Illustrated by Tamika Reid and the students of the YMCA-YWCA of Winnipeg's Grant Park After School program. My name is Sofie, and my best friend's name is Sugar. Sugar's my stuffed kitty cat. I call my kitty Sugar because she's so sweet. Mom gave me Sugar when I had my first MRI. An MRI is a big machine you have to lie inside so doctors can take pictures of your brain. When the machine is on, it makes loud, scary noises, but hugging Sugar kept me calm during my MRI. That's why Sugar is my best friend. Now Sugar helps me with my daily routine. My daily routine starts by taking the 8 a.m. bus with Sugar. Every morning, Sugar and I sit beside my educational assistant, Miss Ainsley. Sugar purrs at Miss Ainsley because she likes her. On the way to school, Sugar, Miss Ainsley, and I play the counting game. Today, Miss Ainsley decided that we should count all the blue cars. At school, Sugar and I play with my friends in the special education class. During recess, I play pet store with my friend Lindsay. Lindsay has a stuffed puppy named Max. Sometimes Lindsay forgets to use her words and grabs Sugar before asking. I don't like sharing Sugar with my friends. When I don't have Sugar with me, I feel worried and upset. Every day at 3:30 p.m., my respite worker, Jordan, picks Sugar and me up from school. Then we go to the mall and walk into our favorite stores. We always go to the store that sells smoothies. Jordan orders a banana smoothie. I order a sweet strawberry smoothie for Sugar and me. Sugar likes to eat sweet things, just like me. At 4:30 p.m., Mom meets us in the mall parking lot. We say goodbye to Jordan, and then Mom drives Sugar and me home for dinner. Every night at dinner, I tell Mom and Dad about my day. I always have a good day when Sugar and I follow our routine. I'm not having a good morning today because Mom forgot to wake me up on time. That meant that Sugar and I missed the 8 a.m. bus, missed sitting beside Miss Ainsley, and missed out on playing the counting game. Mom had to drive me to school instead. That made Sugar and me angry. I pouted during most of the car ride. Mom asked me why I was upset. I told her. I'm sad I can't play the counting game like I do every morning with Miss Ainsley. I decided to teach Mom how to play the counting game. I chose to count red cars because red is Sugar's favorite color. I feel a lot better when I'm at school because I play pet store with Lindsay in special education class. I'm happy because my day is following my normal routine again. When we're playing, Lindsay grabs Sugar's leg. I ask Lindsay to let go, and I try pulling Sugar away from her. I hear a loud ripping sound and see that Sugar's leg is torn off. My cheeks feel like fire. I scream at Lindsay and pick Sugar's leg up from the ground. I try to put Sugar's leg back on, but it won't stay. Miss Ainsley comes over to ask me what's wrong, but I can't speak. Miss Ainsley notices that Sugar's leg is broken. She tries to fix Sugar, but even she can't put her leg back on. Miss Ainsley tells me to put Sugar in my backpack until Mom can fix her at home. Miss Ainsley says I'll have to play a different game today until Jordan comes at 3:30 p.m. It's hard for me to have fun during school without Sugar. I can't play Pet Store anymore, and I don't want to try a new game. I walk around the classroom, but I don't see anything fun to do. I notice a boy playing with clay in a corner of the classroom. The boy's name is Bryce. I've never played with Bryce before. He's making little clay animals. I ask Bryce if he knows how to make a cat, because I miss playing with Sugar. He does, and he shows me how to make one. The clay feels hard and cold. I don't like how the clay feels, but when I squish the clay, it becomes warm and smooth. Soon after, I make my own little cat that looks like Sugar. I enjoy playing with the clay so much that I make a dog and bear sculpture too. When I start to make a bird, I get a tap on the shoulder. It's Jordan saying that it's time to leave school, but it's only 3:07 p.m. I tell Jordan that it's too early to start respite. I tell him that he needs to come back at exactly 3:30 p.m., but Jordan won't listen to me. I pound my cat sculpture with my fist until it's flat, but Jordan still ignores me. Jordan just takes my hand and walks me out of school. I cry while Jordan drives us to the mall, but I stop crying when Jordan passes the mall. I ask Jordan why he didn't stop at the mall. He says that we are going for a surprise visit to the cat shelter instead. I don't like Jordan's surprise, though. I didn't like missing the 8 a.m. bus. I didn't like that Lindsay ripped off Sugar's leg. I didn't like leaving the school before 3:30 p.m. And I don't want to go to a cat shelter. I just want to follow my daily routine, but nothing is following my schedule today. I'm so upset that my body is shaking. I cry so much that it's hard to breathe. We arrive at the cat shelter, and Jordan waits with me in the car until I calm down. Inside the shelter, I see so many cats. There are cats of all different colors. There's even one that looks like Sugar. I asked Jordan for permission to pet the cat that looks like Sugar. He says yes, but the cat hisses at me when I try to touch him. One of the workers at the shelter tells me the cat's name is Cupcake. She says Cupcake is shy. The worker teaches me how to call Cupcake over. I put my lips together like they showed, and I make kissing sounds. Cupcake comes toward me and rubs his face on my legs. Cupcake lets me pet him. His fur is much softer than Sugar's, and he's sweeter than Sugar, too. At 4:30 p.m., it's time to leave the shelter. I say goodbye to Cupcake and the worker. The worker tells me that I can come back anytime as a volunteer to see Cupcake. When I get home, I remember that Sugar is in my backpack. I feel sad again because I remember Sugar is broken. Mom gets her sewing kit to put Sugar back together. I help my mom thread the needle. I even sew the last 3 stitches on Sugar's leg. After we finish, Sugar looks like new again. At dinner, I tell Mom and Dad about my day. I tell them how my day went from bad to good. I tell them how I made a new friend named Bryce. I tell them about the clay sculptures I made, and I tell them about meeting Cupcake. I ask them if I can volunteer at the cat shelter with Jordan instead of going to the mall, and they say yes. I really did have a great day, even though I didn't have sugar and I didn't follow my routine. The end.
February is I Love to Read month, and we are inviting different local authors to join us with their books and the special stories of how they came to be. And joining us now is author Tamika Reid, whose book Sweet Without Sugar addresses the lack of disabled characters represented in children's books. The whole thing is absolutely adorable. There's so many lessons within its pages, and as somebody who is not in that sort of world, reading it and watching the video, Tamika, I feel like I learned a couple things as well, even as an adult. So can we start with talking about how this book came to be and kind of why you created it?
Sure. I created this book because I have worked as a respite worker and an inclusion aide for the YWCA for about 4 years. Now, during this time, I like to do different things with the students that I was with, and one of the things was reading. And I couldn't help but notice that none of the children's books that I was reading had the characters who had disabilities or even intellectual disabilities. Now, after much more research, I found out that actually less than 1.4% of children's books discuss disability at all. And that was a really huge gap, so I created this book to address it. Now, the main character in the book is called Sofie. She's 9 years old, and she relies on her stuffed kitty to feel comfortable during the day, and she also has autism.
I hear a loud ripping sound and see that Sugar's leg is torn off.
When her stuffed toy is damaged, Sofie spends the day trying new things, and eventually she discovers that she can, in fact, have fun without her stuffed animal.
The whole book is just incredible, and lessons within its pages. What are you hearing from some of the kiddos, perhaps, or even their families, or even the caregivers, anybody else who's picked it up and gone through it? What do they have to say about it?
I have had an overwhelming positive response. Now, when I was creating this book, I wanted it to be as authentic as possible, so I gave it to a couple of parents before I even published it, and I said, oh, does it seem realistic? And I edited it so that it was more authentic, and these are issues and these are stories that are very common within this community.
I can't help but feel that even, well, as an adult who I don't have anybody that I know of in my life directly with autism, but even as an adult or kids reading, different classmates, the way that she explains her feelings and what she goes through, it gave a bit of a different perspective that I think a lot of us miss out on if we don't understand what's going on in a certain situation without giving anything away, like the clay smashing. To see that as an outsider, you might think, oh, that's a child throwing a tantrum, but when you read the book and you understand what's going on in that one particular character's thought process, it opens up your eyes a lot too.
Yes, that's true. I wanted to make this book not only for people within the community who have disabilities or intellectual disabilities, but for other people who aren't part of that community. It's a great opportunity for other people to learn, and especially children, because we do have inclusive classrooms, so it's important for kids to understand why maybe one of their classmates is acting different or why things affect them differently.
The book, incredible on its own, but you're going above and beyond, proceeds from sales going to a local organization as well.
Yeah, I wrote this book in partnership with Inclusion Winnipeg to raise funds and to raise awareness for advancing the human rights and acceptance of people living with intellectual disabilities. And I actually raised over $1,600 for Inclusion Winnipeg. I also didn't want to mention that people who have intellectual disabilities are also facing extra barriers during the pandemic, and many rely on assistance and have no credit card, no internet, and are actually at greater risk of contracting COVID-19. So I would also consider, for viewers watching this, to donate to Inclusion Winnipeg. They are working with initiatives to help people within the community to overcome these barriers.
It's so important that we continue to give back, that we continue to learn. Before we let you go this morning, we can head to YouTube, correct? For a reading version of the book, an ASL version, correct?
Yes, there is an American Sign Language audio-visual book that is available on YouTube. You could type in Sweet Without Sugar and Literary Inclusion Project, and you'll be able to find that.
Perfect. Author Tamika Reid joining us for I Love to Read Month. Tamika, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.